that sits here and says shit.
There's literally no chance that I'm gonna look at the show sheet because I could give half a fuck what the show sheet says.
Well, of course, that's how you live.
Tradition.
That is tradition for you. So
that's what it is.
What have you been doing for the last 2 weeks there, bud?
Oh, let's see. 2 weeks ago, had a slumber party with a female friend.
Wait, did she know that you were?
I was gonna say, did you tell her that you're not 18? Because Elon says you're not 18.
If Elon says it, it's fact on Twitter,
must be
right?
true. Right. It's part of the Twitter files. So yeah, and then last week I had kid duty. I had to what I have to do? Basketball practice, counseling. I don't fucking know. A bunch of different shit, man.
Right on. Let's get into it.
This is Fantasy Intervention. Now here to intervene with your fantasy life, Shane Manila, Jakob Sanderson, and Chase Vernon.
Yo, what is good?
Can I make my own Twitter form? I can make my own Twitter ads.
Yeah.
Oh God! Here
How
comes.
much do those
It's
cost?
now going to be. It's
I
now
have
going to
no
be
idea.
Twitter Tinder. What is good people? Tonight we have no boss. As you can see, it is me, Shane, and we have a special guest, Thomas, over there. I think Chase must be out there surfing in California. You know, hanging out at Randy's Donuts, doing something, and then Jacob over there hanging out in the snow up there in the Canadian forest and all. Shane, how we doing tonight, buddy?
I'm good. I'm glad to be here. I'm happy that I could make it on a night that Chase and Jacob decided that they were too good to be on the show, that they found it. But you know,
right on. And we got this special guest. From what I understand, though, this guy right here just destroyed the fantasy intervention game that we play and slapped everybody silly a couple weeks ago. Thomas Triple, how's it going, brother?
Some would say it was the greatest week in this game's history. I look forward to not following that up with another one this time.
That's right. What we're gonna try to do something a little bit different tonight. I'm gonna play more host and give the questions to these two guys that know what they're talking about 90% of the time. There is that 10% time, so we'll go with
talking about. What's going on? Did we tweet this out yet?
Of course.
Oh my gosh.
Where's the live? I'm not tagged on it.
What day is it?
No, I didn't tweet that part out because
Come on, Jay. Don't be an amateur, man. Come on.
Jesus.
Now we're going. Hey man, it's the playoffs, brother. It is the playoffs. We got some big injuries that happened last week with Kyler, Debo, Russell Wilson. Any of those injuries interest you guys in backups or anything like that? Let's start with you, Shane.
Yeah, I not Russ so much because I mean he's been terrible all season. Debo though, that opened up a buying window for me in a league. I'm not competing, so I traded Christian Watson to someone, and I got Debo and a third back.
No trade deadlines.
No trade, never had trade deadlines.
No, you need to. No,
also
that's how you end up trading Christian Watson a third for Debo. It's the only time that'll ever happen.
No, I got a third and Debo for Christian Watson.
See, that's what I mean.
Wow.
That's why people like. That is why people like not having a trade deadline.
Capitalism, okay, my friend. This is what creates parity, because someone that is going for a title, who would like to win a title, is willing to pay the tax to do so.
You're paying a tax to increase your opportunity by like a whopping 2.8% or something.
That's not I'm not a percentage person. I don't know math is real. I'm just telling you that it allows teams in my position that are not in the playoffs to capitalize on players that are desirous to other players. And
well, that's the greatest part.
Here's
though,
the
is
thing.
most of the time you're not playing. You don't have to worry about a picks or anything like that in redraft there, Shane. So that's where we're going with that.
Look, I get it. Like, I totally get it. But like, a dude claimed Mitch White off waivers within 5 minutes, he's trying to send him to me for a 23-1. I wanted to reach through my PC and strangle him respectfully.
Fuck that.
So
dude.
it's like,
I mean, it's look, you gotta be respectful.
that's how I felt. I'm just saying. I'm saying that's it.
I would have offered it for a second. I would have been like, "Hey, you can have Mike White for a second." You know,
but the thing
that's
is,
egregious.
I understand that would be the case if I had like made a bid on White, but I didn't even make a bid. He didn't outbid me. It just like, I didn't care. And he's like, "Do you care now that I have him?"
Right.
Well, some folks don't pay attention to.
No, I got you. I feel you.
Yeah.
But as far as so this is going to be a dynasty episode.
Oh Lord, no, you missed that last week. We had plenty of those questions last week. So,
oh well, that's unacceptable that I wasn't invited on the show.
Damn, even I got invited. What the hell, Shane? What's happening, brother?
My name's in the goddamn.
I say
song.
That's the only reason I played it, though.
I say we stage a coup.
That's what I'm saying. So bring your dynasty questions. Chase and his pedophilia mustache aren't here. Jakob and his analogies to Adam Smith and the Invisible Hand and some other 13th century financial monks won't be brought up tonight. We're keeping it American, stupid, and excited.
First off, Canadian.
That's right. Well, Jacob's not here, so we had to get a Canadian on just to take place.
Did I know that?
So,
I did.
Now you do. Now you do.
You've known me for like 2 to 2.5 years now. Yeah. I would hope that you remember that.
And then as soon as I speak to you, I should have remembered if I forgot.
True. Yeah.
The boot. What's this all boot?
To your question though, Jay. I only care in the case of Jerry Jeudy. I don't care about anything else. Like the other injuries at this point, the whole league is despair and sadness. It's depression. It's anxiety. It's, I got a bye week, but 3 of my guys just got hurt on the Monday night game alone. So now I'm on a bye week, waiting for my impending doom. It's not fun. So no injuries are fun. And all the backups right now are kind of gross anyway. So at this point of the season, I think I said this on the show I was on 2 weeks ago. You should kind of have a feel of the waiver wire and the backups at this point. And if you're still relying on like Richie James, GG's. It's just GG's. Like that's it. That's it for you. You're going home. So no, I just care about how it affects active players that I'm counting on. And Jeudy, after 3 touchdowns, is going to get ripping, throwing him the ball again. And even guys like Kendall Hinton had a more than playable game last week with Russ. And that's just, I don't see that happening again. So it kind of nerfs a couple options, but I'm not like, it can't get worse, really.
Right. And that kind of leads into to my next question there. We had some big weeks last week going into the playoffs. Trevor Lawrence, 30 of 42, 368, 3 touchdowns. 368 was his career high. You had McKinnon getting 6 rushes for 22, but more importantly, 7 of 9 receptions for 112 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then, like you just said, Jerry Jeudy, 73 yards, but 3 touchdowns. Evan Engram, 162 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then J-Mo, of course, his first touchdown, first catch and first touchdown. Now, leaving J-Mo off this list, out of those others, is it sustainable? I know you say, Thomas, a second ago, Jeudy is probably not sustainable with Rippon in there. But how about the Trevor Lawrence, the McKinnon, the Engram? Are those sustainable and are those absolute smash plays week 15?
I mean, no multi-touchdown game is sustainable. I mean, positive production is sustainable for all of those guys. I mean, volume drives fantasy. So positive outcomes, sustainable, but multiple touchdown, outrageous breakout performances, not so much sustainable. At this point of the season, I will say you should understand trends and you should understand your matchups at this point, because we have enough data to back up what is a good matchup. What are you risking? Like sitting Saquon Barkley this week will suck. It will be awful. It will feel gross. But if you have an option that has a better matchup that could provide you the same floor with how bad Washington is, yeah, you bench him if you want to win. You have to do these things. So at this point of the year, you should kind of have a hand on it. And we should also understand that 3 touchdown performances, unless you're Christian Watson, just aren't sustainable.
Drop the Christian Watson.
It's just fact. It's just he does it every game now. I've just done saying he won't do it now because I look dumb every time, more than normal.
Shane, you got a take on that?
No, Tom hit that perfectly. Look, sometimes when someone does something perfect, you just got to move on.
I hear you. Oh, Jamie's got a question right here. Would you start James Cook over Walker in that tough matchup?
No, the problem with starting James Cook is you don't know if you're getting James Cook, who set career highs in snap share in 2 of the 3 last weeks, or the James Cook that had 1 touch in each of the 2 of the last 4 weeks. I don't know. I don't think the Bills, Sean McVay, that's not his name, Sean McDermott, have any idea what they're doing. Not surprisingly, if you've seen that running back rotation before, he's fucking clueless. Another fake Sharp. So I can't start Cook. And Walker's healthy, according to Sleeper. He's healthy.
Full practice today, so he should be healthy. Fine. Yep. Thomas, anything on that?
I'm not playing Walker, but I also wouldn't want to play James Cook. I would hope that you have a secondary option. These names sound nice and they sound great. Short week with an impossible matchup. You have to be hoping, like, you got to understand that Walker's rushing yards over expected has not been good for the most part. And now he gets the toughest matchup. Like, the San Francisco defense is number 1. So that offense is likely already going to struggle as it is. And now you're going to tie him in. We don't know if his foot is 100. Are you going to trust anything Pete Carroll says? No, absolutely not. He's not the harborer of truth, right? He is a liar. It's what he does.
He's a coach.
Walker could go in and get 6 touches, aggravate his foot, and it's GG's. And now your week is for sure done. Or you can monitor some other options and maybe play James Cook. I don't want to play James Cook either, because the only game James Cook did well just happened to be on a short week, and it's the only time he's ever out-touched Singletary on the year. I think that one game was kind of like a mirage.
Well, it wasn't, because the game prior, 2 weeks prior to that, he averaged 9 yards a rush.
I totally get that he was efficient, but to out-touch Singletary's, like, you can bait on efficiency, but
either way, you can't trust them because they're not using him in any consistent manner.
I agree, 100%.
Because Sean McDermott is a fucking doofus.
Like, I would hope that you could play Ken Walker, right, confidently, but both of these guys can give you 4 points this week. Like, if Walker doesn't come back and catch 5 passes, he's useless. And that was the knock on him. Yeah, and you're hoping he can break 1 play. Not impossible, just not probable. It's a lot to weigh your playoffs on, but I would not want to play Walker this week if I had to make like a final answer.
There's the pants.
The stretching.
Stretch.
Jesus.
Facebook user asked, "Where is the pants?"
Yeah, but the fact that you could stretch like that, I am proud of you.
Hey, he has had 2 weeks off of this show, and he has been doing extra calisthenics and all sorts of things that we don't even talk about. This is fantasy football, not fantasy life.
I am very bendy, as Phoebe Buffet once said on Friends. I am very bendy.
Well, we got some signing this week. We missed it by a week, and Thomas and I were quickly hit on this right before the show. But T.Y. Hilton and not OBJ goes to Dallas. Does this mean anything for the playoff push? Are you looking to go get him with the Jacksonville, Philly, Tennessee is who Dallas has for the playoffs for fantasy? Is T.Y. Hilton even on your radar right now? They just got James Washington back, evidently or allegedly. But I mean, they missed it by a week, because if it was last week, you're definitely picking him up and playing him against Houston, I would think, right?
Like, if they played Houston, yeah, I would play him, but he's not. No, all this means is OBJ is an idiot. Like, all this signing tells me is that he thinks he's LeBron because he had success with the Rams and he won a Super Bowl. And I would definitely sign up for that, Dave, for sure. Shout out TD. I saw you earlier and I was talking. That's my bad, TD. All love for Canadian brethren, gremlin life. But I think OBJ is an idiot. I don't want to work out, and there's no point to play in the regular season. Well, you're an idiot.
I don't even think he's healthy, and I think that's why he won't work out.
Right. So, and then of course what he said on LeBron's the barbershop or the shop, right? We're talking about that kind of stuff. So I think if anything, this signing shows that maybe your late hopes for OBJ to come back and like be a contributor on your dynasty team is over. And if he's on redraft, drop him and don't bother with T.Y. Hilton.
Right. Shane, I'm going to throw it the other way to you. Cole Beasley's back in Buffalo. Does this hurt anybody's fantasy value? Does it hurt McKenzie? Does it hurt Gabe Davis? Does it hurt James Cook's fantasy value, going forward, going through these playoffs?
So, I mean, is Gabe Davis going to be less than a wide receiver 4 like he is most weeks? I don't know. It hurts anyone that believed in Gabe Davis without actually having any real reason to. Oh, his yards per route run's really good.
Look,
16% target share. He's had 3 top 24 weeks. So he's a trash
can.
can.
And at the start of the year.
He's a trash can. So all you Gabe Davis fans, I just want to tell you to suck it.
Jakob.
And I don't need you to, and I don't want to make that sound personal. It's just anyone that doesn't follow process and touts a player makes me sick. And that's what everyone did with Gabe Davis. So suck balls. No, I don't think it affects anyone there. To be quite honest with you, I hope you weren't starting Isaiah McKenzie. James Cook, we just talked about, he can't even get on the field because of his coach. And Cole Beasley doesn't hurt Steph Diggs at all.
Can we talk about, though, how just for a minute, if you feel like it, I am a guest here, but that you don't really want anyone on Buffalo not named Josh Allen and Diggs. Like, this is supposed to be a powerhouse offense in fantasy, and everyone sucks but those two 8 games out of 10, right? Like Dawson Knox. Oh my God. Dawson Knox sucks 8 games out of 10, right? And you get a random James Cook game.
I think it's more like 9 out of 10 for Knox, right?
Singletary ends up having like a game or two now and then. And like McKenzie had a decent game, but he's usually terrible. And then as Shane said, Gabe Davis is usually terrible. It's really just Allen and Diggs, which feels weird for such like a prolific, high scoring offense. It feels gross every week. And I just don't think that gets talked about enough.
Yep. Half point PPR, Pickens, Walker, or Brian Robinson?
Brian Robinson.
B-Rob. He's getting all the touches out of nowhere. I love it. This is what I love about fantasy football, right? Antonio Gibson smashes in 1 week, and you're like, he's taking over the backfield again. His snap share is high, everything. And then it's just the next 2 weeks with no forewarning, they go, no. It's actually B-Rob's show. He's going to get 90% of the touches and the highest snap shares that he's had of the year. Gotta love fantasy football, but B-Rob.
Yeah, and we, again, going back to the sleeper notifications, neither one of them practiced today. Neither Brian Robinson or Antonio Gibson practiced today.
Right.
So something to keep an eye on. In a flex position, Alan Lazard or Kenneth Walker. I think we kind of answered that a minute ago, saying Kenneth Walker. I mean, we're not playing Kenneth Walker. We're going Alan Lazard right there, right? Okay.
Which is still disgusting, but yes.
Here we go. In a rebuild, currently own the 101, 102, 106, and the 108. Do I take Bijan and trade the 102 for more assets? I own 424 first, 225 first. Wide receiver room is okay. Need RB and QB. It's a 10-team, 1 quarterback PPR, start 8. This is right up Shane's alley right here.
All right. First of all, you're taking Bijan at the 101. 102, I'm not trading for more assets. I'm trying to see if I can snooker someone into giving me a top 12 wide receiver for the 102. 106 and 108, we can go ahead and combine those, or maybe use the 106 and one of your 24 first and the 108 and one of your 24 first, and go and get yourself another 2 wide receivers. Boom. Instant good team. Someone's going to be stupid and give you a top 12 wide receiver for the 102. So do that.
I'd rather trade 101. Yeah. And I think I'd rather trade 101 because I get Bijan's like super dope. Bijan's a super dope player We all want Bijan Robinson. It's a one quarterback league, so the rookie picks are already devalued in a way, and 101's going to net you the biggest immediate return. And you could end up trading 101 for, like Shane said, go and get yourself top 12 wide receiver and something on top. And I don't think you'll get that with 102, because what's 102? Who
Gibbs.
is 102?
Gibbs.
Yeah, sure. Gibbs is fine. But is someone going to pay up that immediate CeeDee Lamb price?
Let me ask you this way:
right away or Bijan?
You're going to trade away. You're going to trade away the 101 to get whatever piece you can get. You still hold the 102. So then, well, right, but you still hold the 102. Then who are you getting at 102? Is that where you're going to go ahead and get Gibbs?
Whoever I could trade it for, right? Like if you want to contend right away, I think trading those is probably going to lead you to the best value outcome. Because look, Bijan, Jacob and I think we just talked about this last night, even where you get into a scenario where people are locked into what Bijan is. There's still a path for Bijan not to return value. As much as it sucks to say, there's a path for it. So if you're a bad team and if you're down super bad and you have bare cabinets, Bijan Robinson on your team is not going to do anything except potentially lose value. One knee injury to Breece Hall, and all of a sudden, Bam Knight is going to start eating into his touches going forward, and he should be rostered, right? ETN, one small tweak in his foot, and all of a sudden he wasn't the dynasty RB1 anymore. So I think it's a volatile position, and you can use 101 to for sure get a top 12 wide receiver or a Mark Andrews and something on top, especially in a 10-teamer, and use those secondary assets to keep building that way and just churn it out, rather than take Bijan, have him sit, and then try to finagle getting these other options for the other picks. I'd rather just trade the 101 in that case and build that way. Your 24 is locked in. So I would just personally rather do that. So take that, Shane.
Two completely different ways of looking at it. Two different ways of looking at it.
You just want Bijan. That's it.
Yes,
You're locked into the one play.
It was a start 8, right?
It was a start 8, yes.
Start 8, right? So position, obviously one player can make a significant impact. That's I guarantee you. Someone is going to trade him a top 12 player for that 102. And if I have to throw in something else to get it done, I'll get it done. But I want Bijan and T. Higgins as opposed to CeeDee Lamb and Jahmyr Gibbs.
Who do you like more rest of the season? Aaron Jones, Alvin Kamara?
No.
No. It's pick one or the other, Shane. Neither is not an option.
Okay, Tom.
I'd rather have Alvin Kamara the rest of the way.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna lean
Atlanta, Cleveland, because Atlanta, Cleveland, Philly, and he doesn't have Dylan, who all of a sudden has remembered how to play football a little bit. I'm gonna actually pick Kamara, who I think the rest of the way is gonna be pretty dope. He had the bye week. He gets Atlanta. He gets Cleveland, and an iffy matchup with Philly. But I think those two games will get you to the finals. He's a player you ride to the finals, in my opinion. But you still got to look at him as like RB2 Kamara with RB1 upside.
And I'll defer to you, gentlemen, when it comes to areas of start, sit, etc.
Yeah, that's going to be, again, something you're going to have to come back and see Chase and Thomas on Sunday. Dawson Knox, if you buck. All right, we'll get one more in here, and then we'll head back over to the show sheet, and y'all keep those questions coming for sure. Okay, he has Higgins.
You have Higgins, Godwin, Ridley, and JMO. You're set.
Yeah, this was part of the 8 team. He has Higgins, Godwin, Ridley, and JMO. So yeah, you should be good to go. All right, so then let's get back over here. Going into these playoffs,
it's one QB. Definitely trade one of those later ones then and go and get one of the elites then. If you said QB needs work, finagle a way to get one of the elite QBs with one of those picks.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's one of my things. That's one
elite
of my
tight end, elite quarterback, even in a one-team league can make a big difference if you get one of the top 5. And then sure, draft Bijan. There you go. We found a compromise, Shane. See, I'm a negotiable human.
Well, we'll wait and see for later on. But
not for trade deadlines.
Not for trade deadlines. We got with fantasy coming up. Is there, who do you think or who do you see as your, just for the playoffs, the fantasy playoffs breakout player, kind of like what we saw with a Rashad Penny last year? Who is going to be that player in your mind or in your opinion this year? Shane?
Oh, I didn't put any work into the show sheet.
I know that's which works out for me because now it's you getting the question right off the top of your head.
Desmond Ritter. Because Marcus Mariota can't take his job because he's on the IR.
Okay, I won't argue that with you. I really won't. A player that's going to break out for the remainder of the playoffs, I'll say in the sense that it will save his dynasty value, or at least has the chance to save his dynasty value, is JK Dobbins, even though I'm going to kind of contradict myself in the next portion of this, but I think that he has the opportunity to save his dynasty value because everyone's real down on him, rightfully so, but he has the opportunity if he continues getting a 60% right plus running back touch share and looking better and better, even if the results aren't totally there, it'll give you hope through the fantasy playoffs, and that can have a lasting impression on somebody into the offseason. I mean, Gabe Davis had one game in the actual NFL playoffs, and it carried him to top 12 dynasty wide receiver status at one point. So a lasting impression can be made in this stretch. I mean, again, look how people viewed Rashad Penny after years of failure. It does. I'm not saying J.K. Dobbins is going to go out and be Rashad Penny coming up, but it can save his dynasty value. So I'll say for a breakout star in that sense, I'll say a breakout in that he will re-break out for his dynasty value, maybe not his production, if that makes sense. Should make sense.
Well, somebody that I really looked at, and I know this is going to be a little bit of recency bias, especially with the Monday night injury to Amon-Ra Stevenson, but Pierre Strong, when he got his opportunity, he got 5 for 70, 2 catches on 2 attempts, and the playoff schedule I think lines up pretty nice too, with it being Vegas, Cincinnati, and Miami. It is somebody that I would keep an eye on, and then Amari Rodgers is somebody else I've been kind of keeping a pretty close eye on. I mean, last week 4 for 5, 57 yards, but that TD was nice to see as well. Just a couple guys that I've been kind of keeping that third eye on to see if there's a. I mean, they're not owned at all. They're 2% rostered, and I think it was like 9% rostered for Amari Rodgers. So just somebody that would that to keep an eye on there. As Thomas just alluded to, we're going to talk about some JK Dobbins. Is he a must start now? After seeing what he just did. I mean, he's got I think it's at least it looks like a juicy little fantasy playoff schedule here with Cleveland, Atlanta, and Pittsburgh. But 15 rushes for 120 yards and that touchdown. I mean,
yeah. Did you see the long run?
I did not. I heard about it. It looked, I listened to Jakob describe it and on his pod last night with Thomas or yesterday with Thomas, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, that sounds really good." Oh no, wait, that does not sound that great.
It looked like I looked like no one wanted to tackle him because they felt bad for him because he was injured, and they were just like, "No, let the guy run because he's not going to be able to play in the NFL much longer."
He looked really good, yards 1 through 30. And he looked like a toddler from yards 30 and on.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
And he went right to the side. But what was interesting is that they kept him on the field and just kept churning out the drive. And he ends up bursting through and scoring from not, from the 5, from the 8 or whatever. It was a decent way away. But the reason he's not a must start, even though I just said he could save his dynasty value, is you're relying on no pass catching and potentially a third string quarterback this week for sure. Against Cleveland. Now against Atlanta, you got Eva Huntley or maybe miraculously Lamar Jackson decides to play football again this half of the season. I think Dobbins is a smash against Atlanta for sure, but you're always susceptible to Baltimore Ravens variance. For no reason, Gus Edwards could be the guy. So I don't think he's a must start. I think he's a matchup start. And though Cleveland is good, it's not great with your third string quarterback. So he's not a must start. For me, the rest of the way, locked in.
Shane, other than that rush, you didn't really care for him, I guess.
No, it wasn't. I traded for him in a league, but it wasn't really to get him. But
that's a perfect way to think about it. He's
like,
that kind of player right now.
Yeah, that's what he is. He's just a throw-in. Like, I was more excited, I think, about getting a rookie pick than I was getting Dobbins. And the rookie pick wasn't even good. It might have been a second round in a Debbie depleted league.
Mm-hmm.
Right on. All right, so let's get back with the injuries. Major factor coming into these playoffs. I want to know one person from each position. So a quarterback, a running back, a wide receiver, and a tight end. That maybe the best streaming option just for this next week.
Mm-hmm.
So
for each position at this stage of the season,
one person, one player, for one quarterback, one running back, one wide receiver, one tight end that you could and let's go with like less than 50% rostered right now. Something along those lines that it would be, a viable option to play this week due to the major injuries we've just had.
Okay. It's a good question, but it's a question that I think is a little...
It's loaded.
It's a loaded question in the sense that, like, you're just looking for somebody with two legs and an arm, right? Like, that's really what it's coming down to, because if you're in a dynasty league or even a redraft league, these waiver wires are dead already.
Mm-hmm.
So you're scraping, like, players that I wouldn't even put into my lineup. Like, I'm not playing Colt McCoy this week. Hell no. Broncos, there's no shot that's happening. I'd rather play Jacoby Myers. I'd rather play a wide receiver than play Colt McCoy in a super flex. So I think to answer this question, I'm not going to be the best suited for it.
No, let's do it this way. So like
I'll give you my one that I have off rip for quarterback and tight end, because it's going to play in a little bit later. I'm playing Jeff Driscoll at tight end if I can. I'll pick him up off the waivers and throw him in the tight end because somebody already rosters Taysom Hill. So if he gets tight end eligibility on sleeper as well, yes, I'm picking him up. I'll throw him in my tight end slot if I have to. And at quarterback, either Mitch Trubisky if he has been dropped. I think Mitch Trubisky, if he has been dropped, is also a viable play if Kenny Pickett doesn't come back from his second concussion this week, which is possible, though not probable. That's all I got for you.
All right. So let me ask you this way. Shane said he wanted to go out there and get Ritter. Would you start Ritter over Colt McCoy?
Yes.
Would you start Ritter over Baker Mayfield?
Yes.
Okay. What about if Tyler Huntley's playing this week?
I'd rather play Huntley. For sure. Like, he practiced in full, but like I wouldn't start. Like, Ritter's great, but like Ritter's got Drake London and that's it. I mean, at least Huntley can fall back on Mark Andrews and such, and the offense itself. I think I'd rather play Huntley. Either way, you're probably going to cry.
Yeah, I guess I'll play Ritter over Huntley. I'd play Ritter over Huntley.
I need a wide receiver rest of season. PPR lost Debo and Cup, Van Jefferson, Ben Skoranek, Chris Moore, Elijah Moore, White not healthy.
How about just chasing the points from last week? Chris Moore.
I mean, chasing the points from last week, Ben Skoranek?
Ben Skoranek, yep.
I'm saying go pick up Chris Moore, but sure, Ben Skoranek.
I mean, if White does play, I mean, I think it's an obvious Elijah Moore, right? I mean, he's getting the targets. He's gotten what?
Yeah, he's 30, their number 2
30
right
targets,
now.
over the last 3 weeks. So yeah, I think that's an obvious answer right there. But I'm with you. I think it's Ben Skoranek, Chris Moore, Elijah Moore if White is playing. 12-team, half point, super flex, dynasty. He has the 101, 102, 103.
These are loaded.
101, 102/3, 103/4, 104/6. Okay. With my best RB being Kyron Williams, you need to get a better RB. And my quarterbacks being T-Law, Mac. Should I attempt to get Mahomes with the top 2 picks?
Yes, you should always be trying to get Mahomes. First, I would try with the 102 and the 103, obviously. But if it came down to it, I'll give up the 101 and the 102. That's cheap.
Your goal should be to churn that 101. As I said in the last time we talked about it, use the 101 to get an elite quarterback. Like, you want to get it. And Patrick Mahomes is invaluable. He's priceless. So yes, you absolutely should.
He's like an heirloom.
Yeah, he says I got 7. I got 7 total first, 3 seconds in this upcoming draft. Obviously, taking Bijan 101.
Now, I
Jiminy
don't think
Christmas.
Bijan. I'll also say this: Bijan shouldn't also be like the de facto 101.
Yeah, I
Like,
think that's going to depend upon what what the rest of your team looks like, right?
Exactly.
No, either you're drafting Bijan or you're trading it. There's no other option. There's literally no other
I
option.
just don't agree with that sentiment
Well, it's okay
at
to be
this
wrong.
stage of the season.
You're Canadian, so you're apparently wrong a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even eat bacon correctly. You don't even know how to make one. You don't even know what real bacon looks like.
They call it they call bacon. They call ham bacon. That's where they mess up.
Silly.
Okay, that's a myth, sir, because it says bacon on our goddamn packaging. Man, give me the bacon.
Get me the bacon.
I gotta settle something real quick.
Oh, are you buying low? Buy Najee low right now at the 106. I don't know if that's buying low.
106 is buying low.
No, if that's buying low.
No, hard pass.
I'll tell you in just 1 second why that's not buying low. I'm in a draft as we speak, and Najee Harris whoppingly went at 6'3", so that's not buying low. That's buying above market.
Right. Yeah, you're
Don't
welcome,
buy
there,
above
Chris.
market.
You're welcome. Pacheco has Kansas City does have a great schedule.
He has an incredible 2-week playoff schedule. That also includes variance because Jet McKinnon dominates the red zone touches. So we'll see.
Yeah, we whipped through this. Oh, he likes the Ritter call. That's awesome.
Vindication. That's vindication for Shane.
Traylon and Dobbins coming back from injury in the playoffs should skyrocket their values, recency bias through the offseason.
Yeah, I mean, but the Burks has already been doing that for the last 3 weeks prior to getting that concussion in the Eagles game. Like he turned around and his target share had been great, and he actually produced a little bit. So yeah, if he continues that trend, definitely it looks much better towards next season. And I hope Dobbins balls out because I own him in a couple leagues now, and I'd love to trade him to some sucker.
Yeah, I mean, I think Dobbins is going to be. If he goes off in the next 2 weeks again like he did last week, I think you're going to be able to get back to close to what market is for him.
Well, you'll never get back to what we thought the market was going to be for him. You know?
No, because people realize what that offense is, and it's not dumping it off. Like the Baltimore Ravens should, I say this constantly, should force Lamar Jackson to sit down and watch the Colts game that he had, where he just dumped it off to running back after running back after running back after running back and had the greatest quarterback performance possibly ever in a game in a comeback. And since then, he's like, fuck those running backs. They don't need to catch it. Yay! And they just huck the ball 50 yards every time. Like, please dump it off to the running backs. Until then, his value's just discounted. I don't know what your best discount store version of ours would be, but he's this like awful worst discount Nick Chubb.
Is how the Chargers played Miami and Tua. Is that something to worry about? I asked this question the other day, and I got it asked this way. Did San Francisco basically give a blueprint on how to play Miami, and then the Chargers turned right around and played it the same style? So is there basically a book out on how to cover them or how to play them now? And do you need to worry about the assets that you have being, Tyreek Hill, which I think he's actually bulletproof at this point. And then, Waddle did a disappearing act this past week. What are you guys thoughts on how, what Miami's got to do with their assets in order to be fantasy relevant? Shane?
Well, I guess change up the offensive scheme a little bit, right? Mike McDaniel's a fucking genius. Or Daniels? I don't know how many there are. There's at least one of them. So I'll call him Mike McDaniel.
The McDermotts, the Daniels.
Yeah. The dude is a fucking genius, right? So I have faith that he's going to figure it out, and he'll figure it out and make whatever necessary changes they need to, right?
Yeah, this might be a 2-week speed bump, as far as, and they've got this Saturday, they've got probably their biggest game of the year coming when they're going to Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's a prime time game Saturday evening. So that will be a very interesting game. Go ahead, Thomas.
It comes down like how many teams can like just triple cover one guy? Like the Chargers and San Francisco can do. Like San Francisco and the Chargers have more talent on their defense than a lot of teams could ever hope for. And I think that really matters a lot as well. But I think Waddle is scarier than even injured Tyreek is. Like if they just completely wash out Waddle at this point, it's GG's. Tyreek Hill only needs one play and he proved it. So I'm not worried about him, but I'd be a little concerned about Waddle.
All right, pick 2 for Scott Fishbowl: Dobbins, Pacheco, or Rachaad White.
Oh, Rachaad White's got a tough matchup, man. But I really, really don't like Dobbins. Damn, I guess I got to go Pacheco and Rachaad White and hope for volume, and then that obviously includes targets.
I would do the same thing, but don't listen to me and Scott Fishbowl. I got eliminated real fast.
Yeah, so did I. So I have no comment on that. I was going like a long time ago.
It went down bad for me.
Yeah, it did for me too. I picked from the 101. I had Josh Allen, so that was good. That was the highlight. Canadian burns are classic.
Well, don't worry. They won't hurt too bad. I can just jump outside in the snow and cool right off. I'll be good. Thank you for worrying.
There you go. Shane, here you go. There's one for you. With Butte not in the, going back to LSU and not going to be coming out, who is the top wide receiver coming out in the 23 class? Is it going to be Jackson Smith, or is it going to be, Quentin Johnston? Is it going who do you have as your number one wide receiver coming out right now?
Right now, it's Addison. I don't know how it could be anyone but Addison. I mean, the dude smashed when he was in Pittsburgh with baby hands Pickett, whatever his fucking name is. And then he goes to USC and smashes there too. Outside of the games he was injured and didn't play, those are the only games he wasn't good in because, he was at home or wherever you are when you're injured. I don't really know where you are. Dude's just been a stud for the last, 2 years. His breakout age was good. His dominator rating exceeded all the thresholds we want, all that fun stuff. He's going to get the draft capital. And then it's probably going to be Quentin Johnston because that dude is just an absolute monster. And he thankfully recovered in the second half of the year to put up some really good numbers this year.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thomas, you got a different take of that, or are you following right in line?
No, I think it's Addison 1 and then turn your sights to 2024. Personally.
Ooh, okay. All right. Thanks for the answer, fellas. B-Drex. Sup, y'all? How y'all doing tonight? Who should I start in a flex? Keenan Allen, JK Dobbins. I think we've pretty much answered that, right?
So respectfully, it's going to be like 90% of the time, not JK Dobbins, I think.
Yeah, if you have a viable option, and Allen is definitely viable.
Yeah, someone who catches passes, I think, trumps Dobbins in 90% of the cases, especially this week.
All right, well, let's get over to our little game right quick. Let's talk about the guys outside the top 20, outside the top 15 for quarterback and tight end that have a chance to finish in the top 10 at their respective positions.
Shane, this is in the show sheet.
Yeah, Shane doesn't look at these.
I didn't look at.
No, Shane goes
tab 2 on Google.
Yep, Shane goes to this and actually I have to write it down as we're talking, and that's okay. I mean, it's all good. It's Shane, so I have no problem helping him out. And I mean, he's losing in the game anyway, and this is probably why. Because if you paid attention to the show sheet, he would know he can't take somebody.
He's out here making trades and stuff, man. Like he's got a limited amount of time before bedtime. Like he's got to get shit in all at once. So. This is what it is. Sacrifices have to be made before
part of it
kick in.
And part of it, and I've expressed this to Chase, is like I am not the lineup guy. That's not me. And you know why? Because I play in fucking dynasty leagues. What I mean? So my first, I don't know, usually 6 to 8 positions are already locked in. And quite frankly, if I lose because I forgot I played Michael Gallup over.
I did that last week.
But
I had to. I had to with buys, but I had Waddle, Adams, and Gallup, and they got a combined 22.2 points between the three. So it was not, it wasn't great. But I had, you think you got at least 2 studs there, and then you got Gallup in the flex, and then you get a total of 22 between the 3 of them. So, yeah, is what it is. Well, Thomas, let's start off with who do you have at quarterback this week?
Well, you're going to notice a theme with every single one of my picks. It's Andy Dalton. Atlanta sucks. They have a rookie quarterback. Andy Dalton could easily light it up with Chris Olave. They have their rookie sensation out there. Jarvis Landry may remember how to play football. Juwan Johnson's good for a big play. You could get vultured by Taysom Hill, but that's fine. A single dump off to Alvin Kamara against Atlanta could reap the rewards. If I'm playing that low on the list, I'm playing Andy Dalton. He's ass, but even when he's ass, he can be good for fantasy. Like if you remember, we want Jameis Winston. Just remember, he's also a trash can that can be good for fantasy football. It's fine if you eat 2 picks, if you throw 3 touchdowns. It's fine.
Oh man, I didn't even open this show sheet once, huh?
You're a horrible person, just so you know.
So I can't even get to the ESPN link.
You're a wonderful human.
I'm just going to guess. Is Justin Fields outside the top 15?
Oh, no. Hell
he
no.
is. Yep, absolutely. You can use him.
I'm using Justin Fields.
There you go. That's your answer right there. Play Justin Fields.
Garbage time. Looking for a garbage time and a 60-yard run.
Shane, try again. He's top 5.
Yeah. Top 5? Do they know he's playing the Eagles? Real quick, who is ranking this? Because the Eagles lead the league in sacks.
I know.
They're one of the league
I'll put it to you
leaders
this
in
way.
turnovers.
They've got him ranked number 5 across the board, except one has him ranked at 6.
They're fucking slow. Okay. Jesus Christ. That's just fucking stupid. Who's over there? Who is ranking them?
I'm sorry. Loza and Moody both have him at 6, so it's good.
Look, man, I know Moody. I love Moody. But damn, dude, come on. Come on, Eric. Anywho,
Lord.
That's too high. But I'm fine playing Justin Fields. Maybe they're thinking garbage points too. So they're thinking the Eagles are going to be up 30-0, and Matt Eberflus is going to be like, no, this is a good learning lesson for Justin Fields to stay out there, and he's just going to accrue a bunch of nonsense yards. But if you watch that Eagles D, man, it's good luck. Anywho,
this is 15? The reason you look at the show sheet.
Who's at
Shane.
16? Who's at 16?
Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy.
I'm taking Purdy.
There you go.
Phenomenal.
Jiminy Christmas. Oh, are you sure he's even going to play?
No, but if he doesn't, then I'm going with Jim Druckenmiller.
All right. Well, I'm gonna do the cardinal sin right here. I told
used to be Jesse Tressler. Who's the guy that's got the tight end?
Driscoll.
Are you talking about the pictures that have gone on the Twitter this week?
Oh, Thomas. Forever that booty.
Wait,
yeah, that big booty.
You can't hear me?
I don't know what's going on, Shane. You're not muted on my end, so
yeah.
I turned down my volume. Sorry.
There you go.
Jesus
there you go. Well, I'm gonna do the cardinal sin.
You know
right
what? I'm sitting here thinking my computer's fried as I've been upgrading it, and that my sound card just died. And no, Melatonin Shane just turned his volume down. Jesus Christ!
Oh, that's classic. That's classic. I'm gonna take Jared Goff. I know you told me not to do this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I know the risk. I know the risk. The Jets, have a hell of a D. With the addition of J-Mo, being able to stretch the field, along with DJ Chark stretching the field, here's the thing, though. In the last, 5 weeks or so, 6 weeks, since week 9, 0 turnovers from him. 160 plus a pass attempts in that time, 8 TDs, 0 interceptions. He's one of 3 quarterbacks that have 4+ TDs in multiple games this year. The other 2 are Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. So he's putting himself in that group. I know it's on the road. I know it's, the statistics say don't do that move. But, hey, like I said to you before we started the show, this is going to be the week we're changing that statistic. I think the Lions are in for a playoff berth coming very, very soon.
Okay.
Don't roll your eyes.
So check it out. At Minnesota, 13 points. At New England, 5. At Dallas, 1.5. At Chicago, we'll round it up to 15. That's not bad. At the New York Giants, 6.5. And on the road now, he gets the Jets that have forced Josh Allen to have arguably his two worst games of the year. They're going to shut down the run game.
Josh Allen doesn't have the wide receivers that Detroit has. Or does he?
Sir, enough.
Quinemius St. Brown.
There you go.
And Jared Goff's not running to make up for it. And he's a pylon. He is a absolute pylon. Now, Quinnen Williams doesn't play. We might have something to say.
Okay.
But no, I totally get it. I'm just going to play devil's advocate on you. And please, I'm going to plead with you once more. I'm once again asking you to not do this.
I'm taking Jared Goff, planting my flag.
Look, so I'm going to say this, and I don't generally like anyone that's on our show with us, but I'm going to agree with Thomas on most things when it comes to start sits, things like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to just take his word on it. That's what I do.
But
okay, that's not agreeing.
That's not agreeing.
That is agreeing.
All right, let's move on.
My dynasty trading is fine, sir. Thank you.
Let's move on over to the running back there. Thomas, what do you got going over there at the running back position?
Well, it's really easy. My running back is fairly simple. I'm keeping it moving. I'm stalling because I need to go and find it. It's Jet McKinnon versus Houston. I know the play is going to be Isaiah Pacheco, but you want to hit a home run. Isaiah Pacheco is still not playing passing downs, and you know what Andy Reid doesn't give a shit about? Your matchup. Dump offs are always possible. You're looking at 5 easy targets guaranteed, could be more. And again, he can hit a long one just like Pacheco can, and he's getting the red zone touches more than Pacheco is. I think playoff Jet is here to stay, like he was before. And I think you're looking at a 10 to 15 point possibility from McKinnon this week, even with everyone wanting to target Pacheco because it's Houston. I would still rather the pass catcher who's getting the equal volume and the red zone touches. Let's not forget about that.
Yeah, I agree. After watching that last week, that was pretty daggum impressive. I went with Najee Harris. I couldn't believe he was so far back at 23.
Have you watched him play?
I mean, I get that. It's been poor play all around the whole team. But, he is that guy that will get the volume or can get the volume. And especially with Pickett not being there, it's very possible that he could be the only one getting any volume this next week going up against Carolina. So, Shane, what you got?
Who's 16?
Oh shoot! Now you're gonna make me do work. You don't want 15. You want 16. Well, you got to go top 20. So you got to be 20, 21.
Who's 21?
21.
Yeah, there we go. Kenneth Walker.
There you go. Captain Contradiction.
Who's 22?
Now, I'm not telling you who 22 is. I'm not telling you who 22 is.
I'm not going to go. I promise. This will be the last time I ask.
Swift.
DeAndre Swift.
I knew that's where you were going to go.
I'm going to go with 28, whoever 28 is.
Oh, that's a nice pick. Deontay Foreman.
Nice. I like Foreman.
Chuba's
been getting some work in, but
the arbitrary. I like Foreman. I think I've seen in Moneyball where like I'll take Francisco, and they'll be like, nah, I like him. He's like, you don't even know who he is. Yeah, but I like him. That's exactly what just happened. That was exactly the process that Shane just used.
Yep. All right, moving on. Let's go to the wide receiver there. What do you got for us, Thomas?
Well, we're in the mood of stacking as if this is a DFS lineup. And to stack Andy Dalton, I'm stacking the rookie of the year, Chris Olave. I think it is atrocious that he would be this low on this list, but he can absolutely blow up in a game. This could be a blow up game for him. It only takes one. I'm taking Chris Olave. I think it's laughable that he's this far down the list.
Yeah, I almost took him. But this guy, and I'm taking this guy because if I don't, Shane will. And that's Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith this week, 24, going up against am I showing that right? Are they up against Chicago this week? No.
Yeah, you know that whole thing of Fields is against Philly situation?
Yeah, that's easy money right there. He's going to get all kinds of targets. So, Shane, what do you want to do here? What pick a number?
Look, I want to go bold this week, so I'm going to go. Who's at 39?
Ooh, I like that.
Wide receiver.
Why do you do this? Donovan Peoples-Jones.
DPJ had a quiet week last week, right? No, you know what? I'm actually gonna pick a wide receiver. I'm picking fucking Chris Moore because Nico Collins probably isn't gonna play, and Brandon Cooks refuses to play for that awful team.
Interesting. I actually like Donovan Peoples-Jones, especially after he who shan't be named said he's going to throw the ball deep more. I mean, you had a spot there, but damn, to pick that out of random, it's almost like it's not random.
Yeah, it's not. It wasn't. He knew what he was doing right there. He knew what he was doing.
Smoke and mirrors, Shane.
Yeah, as evidenced by my score this year.
Yeah.
It's all.
It's
This
a
is where I was just.
facade.
Yeah, I was snowing everyone. I was conning everyone until they started betting against me, and now I'm gonna run the table.
See, Shane, is there, before we get to the tight ends, is there any other tight ends coming into this class other than Michael Mayer?
I mean, so tight end especially feels like one of those things like we don't learn about the other ones until the draft process. You know what I mean? Unless there's like the Evan Engram year, David Njoku year, unless it's the who was it? Kyle Pitts and Pat Fryermuth year. Generally, I feel like they always just it's foolhardy to even guess which one you think is going to be the tight end too, because the NFL is going to decide that that's incorrect. But also, they're going to draft the tight end in the second round and then use them as a blocker. Because sure,
like the way I look at it is, you want to know who the tight end 2 is? Just draft any one of them that makes it into the third round of your rookie drafts that has an athletic profile and a decent draft capital, and call it a day. That's it. That's how you would have wound up with the Dulcich over Jelani Woods. That's how you wind up with those guys, because you just draft them in the third round and pray. That's it. Find the athlete, find the relatively decent DC, and don't give a shit really about college production at the position. Just find the athlete, find the DC, and draft them in the third round. You'll eventually find who the number 2 is in the class. Right
on. Let's get into these tight ends right quick, and then we'll get some of these other questions answered. There's a bunch of them. Thank you all for doing that. Is getting these questions in here. Tight end, I'm going to go with is that a Kwong? How do you say it? Chig Okonkwo?
Now you screwed me up. I had it.
Thomas, you have a
Sure, his name is Chig, and that's what I'm going with.
All right, forever. That works for me. I think he's going to be
Albert O.
Yep,
I can never butcher it.
He has definitely made the transition from tight end Okonkwo. That's right. The tight end 2 on that team to a tight end 1 on that team. He's getting the opportunities. He's getting the opportunities at the goal line. He's becoming a powerful man.
It's like Thanos.
Yes. Thomas, where are you going?
Oh, my tight end is Jeff Driscoll, baby.
Oh, that's right. We did talk about that.
We talked about this. So I'm going to go with Jeff Driscoll. If he does not receive eligibility on Sleeper, I would play Taysom Hill just because Juwan may not be 100% healthy. Maybe he is, but this is Atlanta. Their defense is bad. I mean, if you can siphon a touchdown with Taysom Hill, he could throw one. This Atlanta game is set up to be a Taysom Hill game, especially if New Orleans does get up on rookie Desmond Ridder. So I'm playing one of those cheat codes in my tight end spot this week if I had to pick way deep down in my dark, dead soul.
Shane?
Evan Engram.
I got to double check and make sure he's not in there.
I think Evan Engram is...
Yeah, he's all the way up at 9.
You know what? Evan Engram, when he was smashing last week, all I could think about was this show, because I'm like, that son of a bitch. Every week
somebody picked him.
Did someone pick him last week?
No, nobody picked him last week. I had him both weeks prior.
He's been played literally like just on this show like 13 out of 12 weeks, and he's hit none of those occasions. Fucking douchebag.
Yep. You got Dawson Knotts at 16. You got Taysom Hill, and then cheers what I just took. You got Jawan Jennings, K. Dotton, Jelani Woods, Austin Hooper, Logan Thomas.
Yeah, you know what? Damn it. I hate all these choices because they're tight ends and they're trash cans.
Yeah, that's why I'm playing. That's why I cheated. You got to cheat to win.
I go with Austin Hooper, man. He's had some double digits.
Taysom Hill is at 17.
Yeah, but I took them both, so there you go.
Oh,
yeah, I don't want to touch Taysom Hill. Dude might if he scores a touchdown, that's any tight end. All right, yeah, sure, Taysom Hill.
All right. Shane and I are gonna join our Megazords together, and form the Megazord and
Gonna be
choose
a
Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill fan party over there.
It's the Taysom Hill Zord is what's going to happen.
Who do you think has the best fantasy playoff schedule? Is it Herbert? Is it Watson? Leaning towards continue to rock with my boy Herbert.
Play Herbert no matter what the schedule is.
I mean, I don't even think that's an option, whoever they're playing.
Cleveland went from a pretty decent offense to the worst offense in football since that person has stepped onto the football field. Don't bother. Just let it go.
Yeah, I
for,
think
for this year. Play Herbert no matter what. And also, like, Herbert's a damn good player who has a healthy team now. It shouldn't be a question.
so. I guess that's Mike's drop the Mike FF right there. Addison,
Mike.
JSN, and Quentin Johnson would be his top three.
How
How
high
high
can-
can Njoku go? I mean, depends on what trampoline he's bouncing on, I would assume.
In what sense?
Yeah.
Like, do you mean like in dynasty format or like this week? Because every week Njoku can be the tight end one. So in dynasty, he's already creeping back up into the top 10, I believe. If not, he should be. And if not, you should get him before he is. But I think he can be as high as a top 5 dynasty tight end. I really do, because it's tight end. He's young, athletic. He's got the contract. He should have a good quarterback at some point, whenever that decides to happen. Like, that's his ceiling. So sure.
Yeah,
Like, I'd rather have Njoku over George Kittle for sure. Darren Waller for sure.
way over Darren Waller.
You know what I mean, though? Like,
Yeah.
if those guys were the
Mhm.
perceived big 5 at the start of the year,
Yeah.
Njoku can be up there with Goddard and like what, Hawkinson? I'd rather Njoku over Hawkinson. So whatever.
Start to Kenneth Walker, Rashad, JKD, P. Ryan. Thanks, guys. Who are the two of you that you're starting out of that group of 4 there, Shane?
JK
JK
Dobbins
Dobbins.
again. Jesus Christ, he won't fucking go away. Just go away. Like, Jesus Christ, stop asking us about him. No, I'm kidding. I want to go with I'll go with Ken Walker and what was the other starter? Rashad White. Only because they're starting.
I'll do Rashad White and P. Ryan just because I don't want to play Kenneth Walker and I don't want to play JK Dobbins.
Lions in the playoffs would be amazing. Yes, they would. Would you start Goff or Pacheco? I'm assuming you would be starting him in the superflex position. And I would say Goff in the superflex position, right? I mean, are you starting Pacheco in a superflex position?
Man.
Golf. I don't think golf is so bad that you're going to be taking Pacheco.
No, I would play a decent wide receiver over him in the superflex position, but not a running back that doesn't catch passes. Because Pacheco and Goff can still end up getting you 8 points. Like, you know what I mean? So, but a receiver can also match Jared Goff's best game this week.
Mhm.
So I would play a receiver instead, but I wouldn't play a non-pass catching running back.
Waller back from IR soon. Who are we trusting? Are we trusting him over in his first game back? And I would say no, because I don't think he was that good.
Who are we trusting him over in his first game back? No one.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he was that good in his 2 games before he went out.
Deuces. See ya.
So
I'm happy for him. He seems like a nice guy. I'm glad that he was able to get his contract, but Dynasty is dead for him. See ya. Sorry.
absolutely. Well, guys, we made it through every single one of these questions. I appreciate you guys helping me out tonight, jumping on. Shane, where can we find you and what's going on here in your life over the next week or so?
You find me Dynasty Trades HQ in podcast form. You can find me on Dynasty Trades in 5 in YouTube form. Besides here, obviously, you can find me writing absolutely nothing anywhere. Apparently, I don't like writing anymore. I'm all about the YouTube and the TikToks, bitches. I don't know. I got a live stream probably coming up. Check us out on our live streams. They're always dope. On DT in 5.
Awesome. Thomas, what's going on with you over the next couple days?
We're permanently and forever busy over there at Full Tilt. I mean, we put out about 8 to 10 videos a week over there on the YouTube. We don't do the TikTok really, but you can catch me live streaming football games on Sunday over on Twitch. That's at Thomas FF on Twitch. We talk fantasy, we watch the games, and we have a good time. And I especially like to yell at Greg Roman on a regular basis. You should too. Come and join us with that.
Well, y'all can find me right here on Wednesday nights. You can find me tomorrow night on Thursday nights, pregame with the Dynasty Gambit over there on the Going for Two Network. Find me on the Twitter box at FantasyJ77. And I did confirm with Chase. I'm assuming he's going to be back next week. Unfortunately for Shane, he will be back next week. So
I mean, yay.
we will have a show next week. And until then, have a Merry Christmas, and we will see y'all next week.
Merry Christmas. Christmas isn't Happy Hanukkah. That's going to happen before our next show, not Christmas.
Okay.
Merry
Hanukkah starts.
Festivus.
Merry Festivus.